Hello, everybody. Valentin Todorow from Aliyah here. Today, we're going to look at the Log Manager, which is a tool within the PeopleSoft Test Framework. So with PTF opened up, what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Tools, and then we're going to go up to Log Manager. Okay. Now, what Log Manager is meant to do is to, if you do have the PTF administrator role, which is the only way to access this, you're able to look at any of these runs. So if you do have a run of a test in here, let's say we go to one of these demos that I've done, like scroll handling, for example, and look at the logs. You'll see that these tests have been run and there's logs. And you could delete them right here on the spot if you are an end user and if it is your test. But on a large scale, if you want to manage these logs, you want to go through the log manager here at the top underneath tools. And now what the log manager does, again, it's kind of a retrieval and deletion and purging tool. It allows you to have a bunch of filtering criteria. First one is the folder structure. So if you click on this little dot here on the right, it opens up the tree structure, just the same one that you see here on the left. And I want to look at all the logs within my folder. But in your case, you might look at all the logs in a specific module, or you want to clear all the logs maybe out of an end-to-end folder because you're about to do another cycle of testing and you want a clean slate. You want to be cautious and really based off your lifecycle methodology and how you guys have set up your testing retention. Maybe you do want to keep all the logs and you never want to purge your logs, but if you are just developing and you want to go through some purging of tests, this is the way to do it. So I'm going to select my folder and click OK. You can select specific tests as well within that folder, but I'm going to keep it blank. And I can retrieve. And you can retrieve off specific criteria. Maybe I want all of the failed tests or all the past tests that I want to clear off. But if you keep them, or a specific date range, obviously. So a lot of these logs filters are self-explanatory, but I'll keep most of them blank. Only one I'm going to keep on is my folder, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on retrieve. And retrieve, as soon as it runs, and sometimes it runs fast, and the more tests you have, it'll run a little slower. Here we can see all the tests that are in my folder, all the logs, apologies, that are in my folder. So some of these have been run many, many different times, and you can see all the log IDs in the various states, who ran those. Of course, it's all been me, VP1, and the time stamp that it was run in, okay? And remember that one I went to the folder and I manually deleted? Well, this one is also in here. So you can actually see if users are deleting tests, because the user has the ability to delete their own logs from that little delete feature. You can actually see what's been marked for deletion. So if something is crossed out like this, that means it's marked for deletion, but it's not purged out of the system, okay? And all these other tests in here are still visible. They're visible in the tree. They're visible in any kind of reports that you might run from a query or OpenSearch Insights. But what we want to do is let's purge everything out of this folder and delete it. So it's a two-step process. First, you want to mark everything for deletion, and then you want to purge everything out of the system. So right now I have everything selected. Of course, you can unselect or deselect up here at the top. I've got them all selected. So what I'm going to do is click on the delete. It goes through, gives you this little green check mark that it's all been deleted. But that means it's still there. It's actually, if you kind of click on retrieve again, you can still see all the logs. Okay, so step one is you mark them for deletion. And if you're really, really, truly, ready to delete them, of course, you can undelete. So if you want to retrieve them out of delete state, mark for deletion state, you can click on undelete. Okay, so delete, undelete. But if you really, really want them out of there, you want to retrieve again. Okay, so delete. It marks it for deletion. You want to retrieve one more time because it has to be in this little strike through phase so that you can purge them. Okay, so you want to do another retrieve so you can see them all crossed out. And then as soon as you see them all crossed out and you've selected them all, then you can purge them out of the system. And this truly does a delete statement for those field and test log names out of the tables. And now if we retrieve one more time, you can see there should be no results. It's scanning the table now, and you see no matches were found. So we've truly deleted all the logs out of the log folder, my folder here on the right, okay? So again, it's a very simple tool, very powerful if you want to manage a lot of logs. You could retrieve everything if you selected, the root here, home. You can select everything out of the entire test bed, all the logs, and retrieve them globally. Okay, so right now this $, backslash means the root directory, which has all of the tests. You retrieve that, and then of course you could purge everything out of the system. If your kind of methodology and testing strategy says we do a brand new log collection each time, then you want to purge them every single time before you run a testing cycle. Okay, but be cautious if you do have a strategy where you keep everything in folders, and those folders have pump 50, pump 51, pump 52. You don't want to purge those out of the system because maybe you're keeping them for audit purposes or just for whatever your retention policy is for your testing evidence, be them the logs. So hopefully this quick intro of the log manager was useful for you. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks so much for joining.